It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day and the grand reveal in Coronado at the Michael Buckner Restoration. Blonde Terry said it best. What did she say, Hannah?
The breath of fresh air went through the garden.
Yes, she said it looks like a breath of fresh air went through the garden. We literally took an entire truckload, almost 2 truckloads of material out of this garden. We didn't remove any plants per se, but we just made them all smaller. We limbed them up. Some of you, or I guess just one of you, commented on it was a shame that we had to limb up the palms and the sagos, but I get it. I mean, this is Coronado. Palms are kind of iconic. I don't personally work with sagos, and in this garden space, it is not large enough not to limb them up. They would completely eat the garden, and there's so much beautiful detail that we did not want to lose. After going through every single plant, cleaning up, pulling all the dead leaves, pulling all the detritus out, checking for insects, treating for insects where needed, which we didn't see much. We reset a sticks on fire. We reset a couple of agave quadricolors. We have this one beautiful stand right here. So I'm starting with a mama over here. And then I'm starting with a mama in between those 2 pygmy palms where we took the sago out, which, by the way, got a good home with Cullen. He took it home and is planting it in his garden. This is where we replanted the sticks. It's just a cute little cutting. Yes, and I added a couple of bags of polished Sonora Shiners on top of this kind of grayish river rock. I'm not, as you know, a giant fan of the gray river rock, but I wanted to be mindful of Michael Buckner's original design and not modify it too much. But I did splash in some shiners. I did come in here a couple of years ago and add some burgundy lava in the center area. And I just think it gives it a much needed pop. So over here, this has been a problem from day one because there just was not enough irrigation to see everything through. So Greg came in and ran some more water. Remember, this is Coronado. This is about 2 blocks from the ocean. We've got the bay directly behind us. This is an island. We are literally on sand. And I don't know, if you can get a sense of it, but Michael is a master at mounding, and this mound goes up a good 3 feet at its highest point. So drainage is never going to be an issue in this yard. So we never ever have to worry about that. What else can I say about this? This garden is all on subterranean drip. There are micro sprays for all of the bromeliads, so that they can get their cups watered. Just want you to take this in. I mean, it is an absolutely masterful installation. We probably took a half truckload of Portulacaria afra out of this garden, but it lends so much texture. It is such a great ground cover. I would never have even considered removing it completely. And the Joe Hoke has received a stay of execution. I talked to the client and she is happy to let her bloom out, and we'll deal with it when she's done. So this plant will take another few months to throw off a giant bloom spike and flowers, and then when she's completely finished, we will come over, remove her, and replace her with either the same plant or a similar one. Oh, so a couple of you asked about the rose bushes. These are heirloom antique Cecil Bruner roses, one of my favorites. They're pink, they're climbers, they're tough as nails once established, and the client has been wanting roses at her front door for the longest time. So I'm super happy to accommodate her on that. Let's go take a look in the back. And this backyard is just a gardener's paradise. The client has lived here for many, many years. We have very mature ficus repens on the old brick wall. It's just so ancient looking. We have bromeliads in here and donkey tail. It is absolutely amazing to me, crassulas, that these succulents have done so well in so much deep shade. This has a shade protector, like a plastic over the top, so it does get very bright light in here, but definitely not really any sun. Check out this amazing sedum. This pot is just magic to me. All we did was clean up the under leaves, and there's just little treasures like that all over this garden. Look at this masterful arrangement. This was done years and years and years ago by Michael Buckner, and I never have to do anything to this other than just clean up detritus. We did tuck in some new things. Those are superbum. We tucked in some new things where some plants had gotten a little etiolated. But again, you know, look at these ghosties. Isn't that just amazing? The Bacarnia recurvatus got moved back here to this tropical oasis. They look absolutely amazing in here. There's a lot of ficus trees that give her privacy, and this is a very deeply shaded area of the yard. Look at the aloe ferox I put in a pot a few years ago. And then there's just little bromeliads, and there's staghorn ferns, and just all kinds of magical things all over this garden. Michael Buckner's rock work is evident everywhere you go, and just take a look at that view. For those of you that are not familiar with San Diego, we call this client affectionately Bayside Bettes, and you can understand why. To the left is our Coronado Navy base. You can see an aircraft carrier across the way, and that is the San Diego Skyline Convention Center. To the right, you've got the Coronado Bridge. Not too shabby, right, guys? Succulents do spectacular here too, despite all of the salt water. They don't seem to have any issues. We've got blooming Pachypodium lemuriae. We've got aloes and agaves for days. This is, you know, full sun out here, but because we're so close to the water, we can grow bromeliads, we can grow coprosma, we can grow palm trees, we can grow anything we want. Hannah took this bed apart, cleaned up all the plants, reset everything, except the Aloe Brevifolia. This is one of my favorite little tight ground cover aloes. It grows very clumpy. It's very low maintenance and rarely ever needs any help or support. We've got millii back here too. Just the happiest millii I've ever seen. Aloe Dorothiae, beautifully stressed. That's a really neat combination with the Brevifolia, isn't it? This little Glaucas, these little Aloe Glaucas were growing in a clump, and Hannah divided them and created a little tapestry of aloes in here that looks so beautiful. But I mean, just look at how the bromeliads just grow kind of wild in this garden. Very interesting little factoid. Crows came and just tore up Betty's grass the other night. We have no idea what they were looking for, but Betty went to the hardware store the other day and bought this and stuck it in the middle in hopes of keeping the crows at bay. So yeah, this is a garden that I come to once a year. Needless to say, I look forward to it every single year. It is a pleasure and an honor to be able to maintain such a beautiful space. I am so glad that I got to share this with you guys. We are going to be doing a maintenance at a favorite property in Chula Vista on Saturday. Tomorrow is our day with the succulent babies. So on behalf of Jose, Cullen, Blonde Terry, who has disappeared, Hannah, Greg, and myself, have a beautiful weekend, a beautiful time out in your garden. I love you. Thanks for subscribing and liking this video. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day and your grand reveal in Coronado, California. Bye, guys.